Michael, hello. With an extra day's reflection there, I wonder what you think was the most pleasing part of that performance the other night.
Well, there was lots to it, to be honest. I think to get a result like that in the way we did, I think you've got to put a lot into the game, all aspects really. I thought we played some really good football, controlled large parts of it with that. And I said it after the game, I was just as pleased, if not probably more pleased with our work without the ball really, and managed the game very well, controlled the spaces very well, and they were a good team, and we had to be near our best or at our best to win the game. So yeah, a lot of different aspects was very positive.
Not only the win to knock them off the top, but the first goal even scored at the Hawthorns for months on end. That must have been very satisfying for you.
Yeah, I mean, we don't look too much into that. Whatever's done is done, really. But we knew, and we still know, they're a good team, and I'm sure they'll be up near the top of the league at the end of the season. They've got the experience, they've got the know-how, got a good coach, and you can see they're very strong. And our last couple of performances, and I'd say rather results there, haven't been too successful. But this one was a good one, so we can take a lot from it.
I know you're very keen to ask about the health of the assistant referee. You must be glad to hear, I think, was it this morning, that he's practically out of danger now? You understand? Yeah,
it wasn't a nice situation to see, and you never really know what to expect. And thankfully there was plenty of help on hand, and he was looked after. So yeah, hearing the same news, and it's positive, which is great to hear.
So looking ahead to Watford, just behind you, they've had a much better start to the season than they had a run in at the end of last season. So that suggests to you that there might be quite a test.
Nah, of course it's a test. It's a test. Every game's a test in this division. I know Tom very well, and the work that he's doing is some really good work there. I know last night as a result didn't go their way, but I think they're a good team. They've got good talented individuals within that, and with Tom with the structure, and you can see what he's the work that he's doing. They are a good team, and they've shown that with the results they've got. So yeah, of course we know we're in for a tough game going down there, and we're going down there confident, and within reason, and a balanced kind of belief that we know we've got to be good, and we've got to be near our best again, and try and get the right result.
I know it's early days in the season, but just below those playoff places, as are Watford, must be pleasing to you. You're on a bit of a roll again now, still dominating possession in games, still creating more chances than the opposition. Is everything going in the right direction? Still things you need to work on, do you reckon?
There's always things to work on, yeah. League position at this stage is, yeah, of course the result will take care of that, but it's not worth looking at this stage. But we know we're doing a lot of good things, and I've said it now for a few weeks really, and it doesn't really change, or we get too excited now because we've won a couple of games. It's the same rhythm of the week, same processes, and keep trying to do the right things, and the boys have shown that what we're capable of doing, and we keep trying to add to that.
Thanks. It's been a great week so far. What's changed, or has nothing changed, and things have just settled down?
Yeah, nothing's changed. I don't think anything's settled down for us. We've been quite settled, to be honest. The boys have been settled. I've said it for a number of weeks. Listen, I understand results have an impact, and so they should, because we're here to win games. But largely for us, nothing's changed. I think we've been a little bit more clinical. We've been a little bit more ruthless. We finished the games off when we've had them in our hands, and credit to the boys for that. And obviously defending very well, and being hard to break down, which ultimately in the end one goal was enough to win the game from.
It's been a great week for Hayden Hackney individually. Has he been asked to do anything differently?
No, not really. I think we just keep trying to add. We try to work with the boys individually and as a group to try and develop them and keep adding things to the game, and the boys are always willing to learn and listen, and I'm not taking any credit for that, but it's certainly to see improvements in little bits creeping into the games is pleasing, and H is that, he's still young, he's developing, and goals is something that of course he'd love to add. It's almost a bit of a bonus as a midfielder to do that, but I certainly don't judge his performances on if he scores or not, but when they do come along, it's nice.
Watford beat Sunderland last weekend, a great result, but then lost at Preston midweek. What do you expect from them?
No, I think any team can lose a game in this league. It happens, you know. It didn't go their way last night, but we know they're a dangerous team, as I've just said. You know, they've got really good individuals and they've got a really good structure and a settled structure. So it's a tough place to go. You know, this is the league we're in. We know that whatever's happened, for good or for bad, and we attack the next game.
How's the injury situation now, and how will it look after the upcoming international break?
Yeah, at the moment it's okay. We never want to have any injuries, but unfortunately we've had a number. But everyone's in hopefully in a positive light on the way back in different timings. And we had Clarkey back training with us today, and Tommy's touch and go. So that's two more. Rav came back into the team on Tuesday, so that was positive. And so that's, you know, taking them off and getting them back one by one.
So are we starting to get an idea of how the league is going to shake out now, or is it still too early to tell?
I think it just settles over time, really, and however it's going to take time. It's going to be Christmas time. It's going to be after Christmas. It doesn't really count now. Doesn't matter one bit. It's, you know, you're putting yourself in as good a position as you can, really, if picking up points over a course of time, and whether you're 4th in the league or 6th in the league or 8th in the league at this point in time, it's about runs, a bit of momentum, and doing things that's going to carry you through the season, and we'll judge that a little bit later on.
Just touching on the injury, you mentioned obviously Rav coming back, and Riley's had 2 games now. Have they kind of reacted well physically to the comeback? Yeah,
good, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody else coming out of the game the other night, all good?
Yeah, no problems from the other night. So all round, yeah, there was. I thought we looked fit, we looked strong. The boys coming back in, settled in quickly as well, and so gradually, we feel we're getting stronger.
And just last one on the injury front, you mentioned obviously Matt and Tommy potentially being ready for Saturday. Where's Johnny at the moment?
Johnny's probably a little bit further, so well, it's right in and around after internationals. He shouldn't be too far off after that.
Onto the game from Tuesday night. Manu had a couple of decent chances, quite unlucky really, a couple of good saves from the goalkeeper. He obviously hasn't scored since the opening game, but you know, it's pleasing for you to see him still getting into them areas, and I guess feeling that goal will come. Yeah,
well, 100%. I think certainly for strikers, you know, I think you can have a spell where it just doesn't seem to go in the back of the net, but he's doing a lot of things for the team. He's doing, especially over the last week or so, he's looked really bright and sharp, and so yeah, it's definitely coming, and for sure, as I said, the goals and as you know, as a centre forward, he's still doing an awful lot of good things without the ball for us. Whether that's when we're in possession or whether we're out of possession, I think he's having a big impact for us, you know. And for instance, the 2 goals against Stoke come from 2 counter pressing from him, winning the ball back twice, and then we go and score. So it doesn't really get headlines, but it's a big impact on the team.
Yeah, I mean, what does that say about him as an individual? Because I mentioned all strikers really, they'll want to score goals, so so there'll be a bit of frustration, I guess, that he's not scoring the goals, but that he's doing that work. You mentioned the kind of 2 important contributions to the Stoke goals. He's doing that work for the team still. What does that say about him?
I think it's really important to share the load, you know, and to play different roles. We spoke about that. We've got the players to do that and to carry through, and whoever scores, and as long as we're winning and the team's playing well and the team's stronger for each individual role that they play, then everyone benefits from it in the end, you know. And I understand strikers want to score goals, and the goals will come from all the forward players. They're all capable of doing that.
Yeah, and I know we've mentioned in the past these kind of your personality, like bubbly, smiley character. Is that still the same despite the run of not scoring?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, all the boys, the atmosphere around training, the boys have played, the boys that maybe haven't played as much as they would have liked, they've been top class.
Just on to another player, George McCormick came on late on for his league debut the other night. I mean, I know it was late on in the game, but it was still a point where you were needing to kind of battle for that result. And I guess putting George on at that time, still a young boy, that says a lot about kind of how much you trust him. Yeah, definitely. I think finishing the game goes under the radar at times, and it's all about who's playing, who's starting. But
certainly, towards the end of the game, I think it's games are won and lost quite a lot at that stage, whether it's 10-20 minutes to go, and I thought our impact from the bench the other night was particularly pleasing, and Della came on, nearly scored, and had done a lot of good things. Izzy was fantastic when he came on, and 3 or 4 actions really had a big impact when they were pushing for a goal, and we just needed that little bit of down our left hand side with Riley coming back, and we just needed a little bit more of a defensive nature really in terms of managing the crosses and defending the box. That's what George does, So it was. I didn't think twice. I thought he's kind of earned it. He trained with us a lot, and it was a big whatever it was, 7 or 8 minutes from on the pitch, and it just shows how important that is for the boys to be ready, and the boys that came on were brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it seems Law last season was. I don't know if he was there every week, but he felt kind of as though he was training regularly with the first team and almost kind of integrating to become a first team player. Is that kind of the role for George this season, even if we're not seeing him week in, week out? He's there and thereabouts every week. Yeah,
to be honest, we try and do it as much as we can, and at different times during the season, depending on the numbers and the size of the squad and training numbers, then sometimes it gets adjusted a little bit, but the opportunity is there for all the players from coming through the academy, and I strongly believe that, we've had a number of boys in and around it and played and been on the bench this season, so hopefully training with us over a period of time, helps them adjust and settle to know what we expect and how it feels like, and get to know the boys. And George has had a really good spell, and unfortunately picked up the injury, but he's trained with us for a few days now and picked up where he left off.
Just finally from me there, Ian had another good game, really positive start at the club, and he's had another call up to the USA national team. I mean, obviously his season is probably a bit different to everybody else's, because the MLS season had obviously started. I think he played 20 so games before coming to the club. Could that have an impact kind of later on in the season, because he's, if you like, had that extended season? Is that something that might have to be managed over the course of the campaign?
Yeah, in some ways we've got to be mindful of that, and we certainly are. I think he came in when he signed, and it was pre-season. There was a bit of a time there where there was an in-between period as well, so it's not like he's gone from one league constantly playing straight into the league constantly playing. The pre-season, and for probably 6 weeks or 7 weeks or so there was a bit of downtime in terms of switching off from the ferociousness of games all the time in the league. So he's had that, but certainly it's something that we're conscious of, and we'll have to manage as we go through the season.
Just one more on Aidan. What is it about him as a character and as a player that's helped him settle and impress so quickly?
He left home at 15 to move away to start with, so he's done it before, and similar to myself in some ways. I left Newcastle and moved to London when I was 15, and I think as tough as it is when you're young, I think it gets you used to it and helps you grow up in a number of ways, and so he's jumped a bit further away from home this time, but it's still, it's the similar environment. He's here to play football, and he's got that about him. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's been smooth, because it's not always straightforward and being away on your own, but I think you can see by the way he's playing football, and the brightness and the sharpness and the happiness really that he's showing. You can only do that if it's coming from a good place. So credit to him for that. Credit to him for that, and credit to the boys for creating the environment for him to settle into as well.
We spoke to him early in the season, and he said that it has been difficult leaving his family and coming to a place where he doesn't know anyone. It's obviously all new, not speaking to his family. But it kind of says a lot about his professionalism, really, that hasn't been evident. Like, clearly there are those challenges to overcome, but you wouldn't have guessed it, would you, judging by just watching him play?
No, that's it. And listen, we all deal with things in different ways, and I think getting your mind on the routine and the day-to-day and your day job, I feel like focuses the mind and keeps you positive, and certainly playing games and playing well and feeling part of something certainly helps, and so yeah, he looks like he's in a really good place at the moment.
Just asking about the defence, obviously 2 clean sheets in a row, but I was looking, I think you've only conceded 13 shots on target all season. And really, when you think some of the goals conceded just come from daft mistakes, hasn't it? Just talk about the kind of work that's gone into that, really, and how pleased you are with the effort.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've really been conscious of and tried to focus on. I think obviously Woody does a lot of work with the back four and the back line, especially, and credit to him for that. But it's certainly it's a team thing, and as I was talking about Manu and before, and the impact he's had on the team through the games. It's not necessarily the goals, but as a team we feel like we're stronger for it, and everyone's playing their role. And I think the more, obviously we're trying, the boys are buying into it anyway, but we're trying to over time show them, and that sometimes success, and they've got to feel it of what it takes, what it means, and I think they're certainly feeling that and growing from it and being stronger. Whoever plays, whoever comes on, that you can see their impact. It's definitely something, for us to be successful. It's something that we really want to be, is a good team out of possession and without the ball. And at the moment we're doing a lot of good things. We've got to keep going and keep improving.
You mentioned Woody there. How important is his role?
Woody's been massive since I walked through the door. His impact on me. He's around the place. His character, his personality, his knowledge. And his love for the game and coaching and helping players. Sees the game a little bit different to me, being previously being a centre back. So we work and feed off each other. Feels in a really good dynamic way. So. But he's had a massive impact. He's constantly on, looking at different things to what I might see and helping the boys develop.
And on the defence, George Edmondson's come in and slotted in seamlessly again, and didn't play a lot of football before, and came in, went straight in, and has been impressive over the last few games. Yeah,
George he's done very well. I think he's shown a level of experience and kind of maturity and composure, really, the way he's played right side, he's played left side, he's had different partners, he's played with Luke, he's played with Clark, he's played with Rav, and not being flustered or nothing's fazed him really, and I think credit to him for that, but certainly the experience and knowing, being part of the Ipswich team last season and knowing what it takes to be successful in this league and seeing it and having that level of confidence really is really shone through.
Just last one, I know we've talked about it most before, but Morgan Rogers obviously key last night, game playing really well. Is there an element of pride for you when you watch him? I don't know if you watched the game last night, when you watch him doing what he's doing at the minute. Are you proud of your part and the club's part in getting him to where he's at now?
Yeah, I actually messaged him last night. So this time last year he was coming on sub against Cardiff. So yeah, it's probably my fault for not starting him, eh? But yeah, it's fantastic to see. It's we would have loved to have kept him and had him here for longer. And I told him that at the time. But certainly the way he's gone on and kicked on, and he's credit to him for that. He was a joy to work with and try and help, and he's gone on to a whole new level now. And watching him last night and look so at home and comfortable in them surroundings and not fazed by it, and getting that recognition that he deserves.
He isn't in the England squad that's just been announced, but it feels like just a matter of time.
If he keeps doing the right things, for sure. I think I do think to get in the England squad and to break that, I think you kind of got to earn it over time as well, and he's certainly on that track for to take that next step as long as he keeps doing the right things, and at the moment he's doing great.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hi Michael. Does that, just going back to Morgan briefly there, does that help you to sort of sell the club as well to these young players that you're trying to get in? Look what you can achieve. Obviously you'd like to keep them and then take it to the Prem, but it must help you certainly, show potential targets what they can and what you can help them achieve.
Yeah, certainly there's part of us that, and I said it when I came, I enjoy the development of younger players and trying to help them on their career in different ways, and Morgan kind of epitomises that, probably is the standout for that in terms of the success of bringing him in and going on, and he was only with us for 6 months, but we feel it was an important 6 months, and we want to grow the club, we want to develop, and we want to push on as a group really as well as. But hopefully, if that gets talented players through, whether they're young, whether they're older, doesn't really matter. So if we can recruit and attract the better level of player, then fantastic.
Brilliant. And you mentioned there about working and helping and speaking with younger players. Back in your playing days, obviously, Tom Cleverley was a younger teammate of yours, and I know you spoke back in May about some of the advice and things you gave him. Was there ever a moment when you spotted, even when he was that young age, that he had sort of future coach written all over him just by something he'd said, or has it?
I think it's really hard to pick future coaches, to be honest. Some of the lads you look back on and you think they were almost nailed on to be a manager or a coach, maybe don't go into it, and others catch you by surprise and you don't really see it, and all of a sudden they turn out to be a coach. So I think it's difficult to predict. I think his love of the game, Tom, from the moment he came through the academy and trained with the first team, his hunger to train and improve and practice, and every single day he had a real good way about him, and he had a fantastic career, and it just shows you what that can do in terms of attitude. He's obviously got talent, he's obviously ability, and but his love of the game shone through, and then his intelligence after that kind of kept adding to his game all the time. So he's doing really well. I'm pleased for him. It's good to see him gone into that. I'm still in touch. We're still friends, so it's not just a professional kind of. It's just nice to see him do well.
And just finally from me, was it a brave decision from him in the summer, accepting a job at a club that maybe goes through 2-3 managers, traditionally over the last couple of years? Was it a brave decision, or was it one that he couldn't really turn down?
It looks like a good decision to me. He finished the season pretty well, and he certainly started this one well. So of course, I wish him all the best. I hope he has a really good time, and I'm sure, of course, apart from playing against us, but I hope he goes on to some really good things.